I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard spirit calling, spirit calling. When you hear that, you can't just live your life the way you lived it before. I found yoga, I found my breath, and that was the beginning of allowing this space to happen for me to hear something that was greater than my own thoughts. In the beginning, this beautiful group of high frequency, angelic, feminine, divine beings came in, and I started going through these past life deaths, and I started having to feel them, and then my frequency would rise. I had all these different beings in different dimensions, in different frequencies coming in. And I used to joke and say it was a Galactic Hotel because that's how it felt. The Great Council of Light are very, very ancient creator beings. The main message that they say is that
welcome everybody to the Heart Coherence Collaborative. It is an honor. I'm really excited. We have our new friend Pamela with us today, who's many things, but she's very down to earth, and she's an incredible channel. And bringing those things together can be more rare than one might think, but we are super honored to have you here today. And you're going to start by sharing your awakening story, which I've been hearing a lot of things about.
yeah, I'm so happy to be here and to share this time with you. And I watch the podcast and you've had so many interesting guests on. So I feel honored to be here with you having this conversation. And yeah, it's down to earth is such an interesting term, right? If we break it down in like a spiritual sense, it's like down to earth. We are on this physical plane of three-dimensional reality, dealing with all the things that we have. And this is the path we chose to do, right? You and I came here in this lifetime to do this work, to talk about spirit, to talk about the universe, to talk about all the different things that we've experienced in our life. I feel to be a reflection to others, to show them, hey, she did this, she overcame that, she understands something maybe that I started thinking about. And I like to be an inspiration to others. And I love to not only share my story, but hear other people's stories as well. Like that's the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. Yeah. So if we get into my spiritual awakening journey, which I believe that we're all on continually, right? Um, I often talk about like, we have contrast in our life. We came here to have experiences, to learn love in every single experience of our life. And we're born through love. There's an exchange. There's not only an exchange that happens when we're brought into this physical realm, but there's a spark of the divine that comes into that physical body that creates who we are, and that's love, right? So we start with love, and we decide who we're going to come down with and what we want to experience. And in my soul family, in my growing up, my dad was addicted to alcohol, and he was very angry, and he didn't really know how to adult or how to parent. And my mom, I was a creative. I still am a creative artist, musician, very like empathic. I didn't even know what that word meant. I just knew that some people made me nervous and some people I really resonated with. And usually, you know what, Kyle, it was like older people that I resonated with. Yeah, I totally was like, I could have conversations easily with them and I could sit and speak with them. And I waitressed for a long time. And like, I would love talking to my people. But my dad was really hard and he was abusive verbally, mentally, physically, and it was not easy growing up in that kind of environment. It wasn't safe. I don't know if everyone can identify with this, but like me as a parent, you want to create a safe space and you want to try and do better than your parents did for you. And, you have an intention to just try to show up, even if you're not completely awake and aware and living a spiritual with your spirit first, you have a good intention to bring a beautiful being onto the planet, love it, nurture it, teach it, guide it. And my dad, my mom says when I was a baby, he got along really well with me. But when I was older, like, I guess maybe I talked back or I was just a normal teenager and it didn't work really well. Um, but I was fearful of him. My brother and I would hope it wasn't us that was going to be the target, and maybe it was I felt bad about that, but I would say, okay, he's picking on him and not me, and like you'd feel some sort of a freedom in that, but then you felt guilt about that, and we didn't really have a relationship, and my mom kind of guided me through my life to see what my talents were, to see what I was good at, and that was her job as my mom. But I got I felt most comfortable in the creative spaces with all the weirdos, with all the musicians and the people who were trying to express themselves and be who they were and feel comfortable in their skin, and that's my path. I went to art school and I started working out in the world. And I didn't have a lot of self-esteem besides connecting with adults. And I was a happy kid. I was a happy person, but I had no self-esteem. I didn't have that strong father figure to kind of hold me up and stand behind me to show me what love was, to show me what love from a man was also. And when I was out in the professional world, I saw these women who like considered me this young professional, successful person, and I remember having imposter syndrome, thinking they think I'm like them. Do they see what I see? And that's like growing up. That's like growing into you, and that's you start having successes. You start doing well at something, and then you start saying, "Hey, I'm good at that," and you start to expand as an adult. And I wound up getting married and having children, and it was time to bring them into a religion and follow the traditions that my parents had taught me, my mother had taught me, which was Catholicism, and I wasn't resonating with it. I was like, I can't, if I don't believe in this, how can I bring this to my children? How can I tell my children this is what you have to believe in? How can I bring them to the school to teach them something that I don't believe in? And the first thing that I did was take my kids out of education, religious education. And my family was like, well, what are you doing? Like, this is what we do. Does that mean you're not going to go to church anymore? I'm like, no, I'm not going to go to church anymore. I don't resonate with this. At that time, Catholicism, there was a lot of, moving the priests around, and there was, kids, things happening, and none of it made sense to me. And then I started having these realizations of, if God is love, how is God, who is love, going to judge me and tell me whether or not I have eternal life or I'm going to go to hell for eternity? Like, that doesn't make sense. So those concepts were like, clashing. And then and I'm still like this, if something doesn't feel right, I can't move on it. I just can't move on it. So I'll say it's not time to make a decision, or I can't move forward with it. And I started that's what I call like the breakdown started happening. That's what everyone's experiencing now in our world. Things don't make sense. Ideals and practices and situations and educate, like all the things that have been created for us are breaking down, and people don't understand. And that's what was happening to me. And something that happened was my dad was losing his battle with alcohol, and I started like looking at him a different way. I was an adult. I had kids. I had responsibilities. I had a mortgage. I had this. I had that. I had all the things that my dad had when he was my parent. And I started having empathy for him. And I started understanding some of his pressures and his pains. I started understanding that he had mental health issues. And I started seeing choices he was making in his life. And when he died, he was laying there. I was with him. And I just remember watching the essence of who he was. I didn't have a label for it. I didn't know what it meant. But I remember watching his energy leave his body, and his meat suit just laying there. And I was like, where did my dad go? Like, where's the essence? What the thing that filled him, that made that body move? Where did it go? And what happened was I got an opportunity to go to see a psychic medium. I was supposed to go with this group of people. We were all going to go and buy a ticket, and they were talking about going, and I didn't have any money to go, and it wasn't something that I could do. And somehow this ticket came to me. This woman said, "It's paid for. I can't go. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do want it." So I went to the psychic medium gallery and I walked right in and I sat right in the front. And I had no idea, like spirit put me right there in the front because this experience was the beginning of everything. And I'm sitting there and he's like, he comes in and like the room is quiet and there's like the music in the corner and the uplighting and like it was like spooky but cool at the same time. And he comes in and he said, okay, everyone, we're going to get started. You know, put your hands on your knees and sit there calmly and take a deep breath. And we're going to get started now. And he goes, so I'm going to walk around. And for instance, you know, someone might come to me like, and he walks right over to me and he goes, your father's here. And he goes, he died of liver, alcohol. And I said, yeah. And then he's like, or, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. All right, let's get started. And I was like, what the hell just happened? And he goes, I have to come back to you. Your father is here. He wants you to know how talented you are. Okay. Talented, music, art. I was dumbfounded. He wants you to know how he's so sorry for how he treated you. He didn't treat you the way he should have, and he understands that now. And he said, your father, were you there with, it was a small group of people with him when he passed? And I said, yeah. It was my mother who was divorced from him, my brother and myself. And my mother said, let's pray. And we were holding hands and we were praying. He said, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. He goes, you helped your father transition with that love. Your frequency helped him transition. I didn't know what that meant. And I was like, it was the beginning of this desire to learn more and more and more and more and more. It's like it opened the floodgates, right? There was no doubt that there was life beyond this. Beyond this, there was no doubt. You know, it's like when you hear that, you can't turn around and just go, oh, let's go to McDonald's. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe you go to McDonald's, but you can't just live your life the way you lived it before. I found myself, and I don't know what year this was, 2005. I was in the metaphysical section of the library. I wanted to eat up everything. I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to have conversations, have experiences. I wanted to do it all, you know? And I wanted to go back to that man to see that psychic medium. And I did. I went back to him and I actually, as I was waking up, I didn't have anyone to talk to about this. It's not like something you could talk to at the dinner table, at the Easter table, at the family gathering, at the office. It's not something you could have at the dinner party with your friends. No one was thinking this. And I reached out to that psychic medium. I wound up seeing him every 6 months for about 10 years. And yeah, he was my community. He was my like spiritual mentor. And every time I would go, I would do a double session. I'd book it ahead of time. I mean, I remember I would book it, book it, book it. I didn't know who was going with me, but I always knew someone would show up and they would go with me because it would be perfect timing. And through that, I was able to tap into the guidance of my deceased loved ones. My grandparents, my grandmothers basically would come and I was going through things and they would know exactly what to give me the strength to make changes. And one of those was leaving my marriage. I after that first experience with my dad, I read Many Lives, Many Masters with Dr. Weiss. And then I started watching this movie called Open or Tuning In with Bashar. And like all the people were in it, right? Wendy Williams and Lee Carroll. And I was fascinated by them. They asked the same question to all these different channelers and then they pieced it together. And I would go on walks and I would listen to it over and over and over again. I just wanted to be near them. I wanted to hear what they had to say. I didn't think it was weird or anything. The first channeler I found was Abraham. And everything made sense that Abraham said. Esther Hicks, everything she said, it was like, I'm the creator of my reality. And I was like, what the hell am I talking about? I'm talking about lack. I'm talking about all the things that are going wrong in my life. I need to change that. And I started changing that. My talk tracks changed and then my life changed. And like people started falling off the game board. New people started coming on the game board. Old friends would go away. New friends would come in. And I found yoga and I found my breath. And that was the beginning of like allowing this space to happen for me to hear something that was greater than my own thoughts. And that the nuggets to come in, and the, hey Pamela, your marriage contract's coming to a close. Hey Pamela, this person's not really someone that you want to be with anymore or spend time with anymore. Or, hey Pamela, go down this way this time, and discover what's over here. And I often say when I have, cast appearances, or I talk to people about my story, that was the beginning of my healing journey. Because, when you start discovering, then you want to start to put it into practice, and you want to have all the experiences, and you want to learn the Reiki, and you want to go to the shamanic journey, you want to do all the things. And that's what I was doing. And while I was doing that, I was uncovering more and more and more about myself, and more and more and more about my gifts. And I was hearing more, I was seeing more, I was sensing more, I was feeling more, I was having visions, I was getting downloads. Um, the universe was so great because, the most amazing people would come on my path at exactly the right time and ask me, or present opportunities to me to do trade, for instance. And I was like, yeah, I could do trade. I ran a marketing, I still do a marketing and branding firm for 18 years by myself. Now I have a partner. And at the time, this woman who was a business coach said, I'm doing this new, like, kind of spiritual coaching thing. I need someone to practice on. Would you be open to that? Yeah, I'll be open to that. So I do that with her. And through that, she says, you know, our company that I work for is looking for somebody to do marketing and branding. Do you want to do trade? Yeah, I'll do trade. But I had to listen. I had to say, right?
Our mission here at the Heart Coherence Collaborative is to get people in touch with the healing power of the heart.
And we really need your help. Right now, only 1% of viewers subscribe. We are aiming to take that number to 6%.
The reason why we want to do that is the more people that subscribe, the more people in the world can learn the magical practice of heart coherence.
So please help us out. If you've ever listened, if you love this message, please just take a moment to subscribe.
Thank you so much. We love you.
We love you.
And at the time, I was going down these rabbit holes of wanting to know where Jesus went, and wanting to understand the Egyptians, and wanting to understand all of the things. And I saw a video about Gerald Powell and Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. And I heard Gerald's story about how he was addicted to sex, to drugs, to gambling, to everything. And someone challenged him to do plant medicine. And he was like, nah, I don't need that. And his friend was like, yeah, I didn't think you would do it. And he totally called chicken on him. And he was like, no, I could do that. He cured himself of all of his addictions because he healed himself during his plant medicine journey. This memory of him being molested by his grandfather was revealed, and it healed everything. And he was an hotelier, created all these resorts around the world. He took all of his life skills and this new reality that he saw and experienced with plant medicine, and he created Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. Well, I saw this video, and I was like, boom, that's where I'm going. I'm going there. I don't know how I'm going there. I don't know when I'm going there. I don't know how the hell I'm going to pay for it. But that's where I'm going. Well, I didn't need to figure it out. I had to say yes to all the things that were being presented to me. I had to say, yeah, I'll do the trade. Yes, I'd like to work with your company. Yes. And through that experience, I was invited to go to a symposium as part of the trade. I went down to Florida. I walked into this big hotel area, and all the people were gathering. And I saw the owner of the company over there, and I walked over to him, and I was like, oh my God, Steve, I'm Pamela. I've been working on your business. I know we've talked on the phone, but I've never met you. He turned around, he looked at me. I looked at him. This energy shot through our head, and out our hearts. And I felt this. I was so confused by it. I looked at him, he looked at me, and he said, do you feel that? And I said, I do. And I couldn't even look at him in the eyes. It was so odd and strange. I didn't know what to experience or what it was. And I went on with the symposium. When I came home, I'm sitting at my desk working one day, And my phone rings, and I'm on a Zoom call. My phone rings, and it's this odd number. I hear Steve. I put the phone down. After the Zoom call, I listened to the message. It was Steve, the woo, woo, woo. And he said, I just want to talk to you about that experience. Let's talk about it. Give me a call, whatever. So we talked. And he said to me, I don't normally say this to people, Pamela, but I'm on my way to go do plant medicine. I'm going on a trip to do ayahuasca. And I said, ayahuasca? I was like, I'm doing ayahuasca. I'm going to Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. I don't know when I'm going or what, I don't know all the details, but I'm going there one day. And he goes, Pamela, I'm going there in the fall. And I was like, nah, because nobody talked about this stuff. Nobody's talking about Rhythmia. And we actually became really good friends. And I kept hearing he's going to invite you to Rhythmia with him. And I just waited. I just let it be to see. And like over several months, he came back to me and he said, Pamela, I'm receiving guidance that you're supposed to come with me to Rhythmia. Normally, there's like 100 people there healing trauma, addictions. He goes, but I'm in this group. And one of the people in this group that I'm in is on the board there. And they've blocked the week. They're closing it down. And there's only going to be 40 high conscious people there. I think that you would love it. You have to pay your way and you can come. You'll love the people. And I was like, it's like that, woo, woo, woo. Like, really? I had to write the check. I had to push through fear. I got a tax return check that was exactly what I needed to go. And instead of buying a new HVAC unit or a new roof or new windows, which I needed all those things, I was like, I know that I'm supposed to go. Like there are the things that happen that there's no denying that they're the things that happen. You have to see them to put them together, and you have to say the yeses. You have to. You get to. You get to, right? And that's the love or fear, the love or fear. And I said yes. So through this experience, I was down in Costa Rica for a week eating vegan, beautiful, beautiful people, high frequency people, working on trauma, working on this life trauma, working on past life trauma, healing energy to my lineage, to my daughters, to my future, healing the lineage in my past, having all these understandings about my now. It was incredible. After the week-long journey, I was vibing high. I had done so much work. It was a beautiful, you're in the jungle, the frequency of nature's all around you. We had a breathwork class. So I'm sitting there and we do the breathwork class, and this white light just came through my third eye, filled my whole body up. My body was zzz, my teeth were zzz, my breath was taken away, and I just kept going, thank you, God, thank you, universe. And then I heard your frequency has, um, um, I've never not remembered this term. Your psychic abilities have been enhanced. Everything from this moment forward will be different. And that's what happened. That's what happened. I came home in November of 2019. 4 months later, COVID hit the world, and everything was different. Everything was different. Our work was different. Our lives were different. We were suddenly inside. And I say that I had this gift of time. I had this knowing that I was supposed to sit every morning with intention and call whomever it was that was supposed to come in and work with me. My frequency is so high right now. It's crazy. I'm feeling this feeling inside of my body. From the moment we got on the call, right? I feel it. I just knew that I was supposed to call them in. I knew that I was supposed to sit with intention. I knew that I was held. Because when these experiences happen and you say yes, and more of them happen and you say yes, you know that you're on this path that's highly guided, highly and divinely guided. And like it's your job almost. And I sat and I said, I'm here. I'm open. I want to work together. Not show me a feather, show me rainbow, make this song come on the radio. I want angel numbers. No, I want more. I want the connection. I want to collaborate together. I want to work together. And that's what we did. And in the beginning, this beautiful group of high frequency, angelic, feminine, divine beings came in. And when they came in, I knew that we were going to work on some hard shit together. I just knew it. And I started going through these past life deaths. And I started having to feel them. I started experiencing them physically. And I had to experience the physicality of it and then have the sorrow of it release. And then my frequency would rise. And I did it over and over and over and over and over again until one day I heard this like, and it came through my body, and I started speaking this light language, and it was basically me raising my frequency and the council that I channel lowering theirs. It wasn't the council yet, actually, lowering theirs, and then they transferred energy, and it was like the beginnings of this higher understanding and this higher information, this channeling coming through my channel, my body. And we worked together for the better part of a year. We worked together. And the very beginning, I had ETs. I had all these different beings in different dimensions, in different frequencies coming in. And I used to joke and say it was a Galactic Hotel because that's how it felt. It felt like they were like stopping on the freeway, coming in and like making themselves known. I would feel them, so I could feel their frequency. I would speak them, so I could speak their language. And I would draw them because I could see them in my mind's eye. And they were every which way. They were like I believe that they're already embedded in me. Like I believe that they're there. I don't know how to explain that. But they all look so different. And then that was the beginning of me having to learn all of the beings, all of the frequencies, the light, the dark, all of it. Because without that understanding, I can't understand it all. So people see me channel and they think I have demons in me and they think that I'm possessed demonically, but they don't understand. I have to understand what a low vibration feels like. I have to understand. I got to understand what a low entity feels like, what a low frequency feels like. I get to understand what a higher vibrational being feels like. They are all part of that puzzle of all that is. And I always say, like, when you're learning a language, when you're learning a skill, when you're learning anything, you've got to go through it to understand it. It's the same thing. You got to put all the pieces together to have your own unique understanding of all of it. And I would be in bed and beings would come and visit me. They would zap me or be standing next to my bed. They would bother me. And sometimes when I was raising my frequency, lower dimensional beings would come in and I would call on Jesus all the time and call his frequency and to make them leave. I'm at a point now where that doesn't happen because my vibration is too high for them to do that. But that's when my vision started. And that's when I had them like in dribs and drabs before, but they really got amplified after the ayahuasca. And I started having visions of the future. I started being told by the guides. The first thing they told me, one of the first things they told me was war. And I said to myself, well, war, I mean, like, really? War? And they would talk about weapons of mass destruction. That's what they called them. They talked about the stock market crashing. They talked about tectonic plate shifting. They said, this is 2020. They said there will be natural disasters and many, 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 many natural disasters, fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, waves, wave, 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 wave. I used to wake up with dreams of tsunamis. And when I'd be channeling, they would be like, wave, 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 wave. Yeah, it was like I was learning the communication. And I've seen all kinds of things. I've been talking for a long time, but
I want you to keep talking. I'm really enjoying this. Your story is amazing, and I could relate to a lot of it.
yeah,
Now we're at the juicy part, and I just want you to keep flowing. Yeah.
keep
So
going.
yeah, I guess my question would be just, a little bit about all these different beings. Like, how has that relationship expanded up until today? And
Mhm.
when are the different beings choosing to come in? Do you have a
Mhm.
favorite? All those types
Yeah.
of things. All the normal questions.
Yeah, they're very good questions.
Thank you.
One of the first guides that I became comfortable with was a Palladian guide. He came through and I was working with my shaman Carol, and I still work with people. I mean, I have this guy Patrick who's an angelic healer who helps me. Sometimes I get energies entrapped in me. Like you know, it's not like you're like do today everything is this way and it's forever. Like you are constantly having to work on your energy body. You're coming up against things. We're humans, but this Palladian guide Avriel, he's always over here. He came through in this reading and he's majestic and tall and light blue skin and he's got this white hair like this that's long, it stops around here, and he has this cloak that's blue velvet with this brocade that goes down, and he told me his name Avriel, and every now and then if I call on him like he's there.
Oh, nice. What did you say
Yeah.
your name was?
Avriel, Avrile.
Nice.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I know.
Cool.
um and then I have had this relationship with Jesus since I've been a kid. He's always been like my guy. He's always been there. Like, I told you it was hard with my dad, and my grandfather was awesome. I loved him. And, religion brought me Jesus, and Jesus was always there. Jesus is very, very present in my life. He's always with me. Like he comes when I'm dreaming. I mean, when I'm sleeping, he'll come and visit me. He comes to a lot of the readings and when I do energy work with people. I feel like I've been, you know, I don't know, friends with him. That's a big statement, but I really truly feel like I have been, you and um, the Great Council of Light, like in the beginning, Ra came through and Thoth. They were very, very, very early on. Ra is something else, man. Ra could rock this, like make the walls shake. I say it is so powerful. And then Thoth comes in, and Thoth, they come in now and then. They're not here all the time. I guess I can call on them anytime I want to, but they're just a connection that I have to that time. I believe in the Great Council of Light are very, very ancient creator beings, which they make sense with Ra and Thoth. They are a dynamic force. They are so powerful. When I went to Next Level Soul, it blew out the system. He had to restart everything. And that was the first time that happened. Then when I went to Sean Kelly Digital Social Hour podcast, the same thing happened. It kept on messing with the monitors. It's not me, it's them. And it hasn't happened on Zoom yet. It hasn't happened virtually yet. But when I work with people in my community, I just started leading mastermind. Um, the council comes in and people like start taking off their sweatshirts and they can feel the heat of them. They can feel the energy of them, and they're really super powerful. They're with me now. They tell me, and it was very hard for me until recently to say this. It's such a big statement. It's part of self-worth. It's part of my job in this lifetime. I'm an aspect of them. And I came down into this reality to do this work at this time. I've tried to do this work many, 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 many times in my different lifetimes. I have a lot of trauma in my neck from, yeah, I think a lot of us do. And I still suffer from that. I'm going to work with Patrick tomorrow to help me with the energy in my neck. It's hard, but I am not giving up, and nothing will keep me from doing this. And you can call me possessed. There's a viral clickbait video that Sean Kelly put out that launched in January, still going viral. Over a million people saw it. But my light is the light of the council, the messages of the council, you know, it's sparking things in people. So the right people will see it, and the people who don't want it or want to ridicule it, it is what it is. It's why we're here now, to ignite, to share, and to support to people who need it. And so for that to happen, You have to get uncomfortable, you know, and that's ego. That's all ego.
Yeah. Well, I got your back.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. It's awesome what you're doing.
It's really cool. I can say it now, but I've only been doing this publicly since January of 2024.
Oh,
So it's a little over a year and a half. Yeah. I didn't even tell you about spirit calling. In 2020, when I started getting the downloads and the visions, and when they started talking to me, I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard spirit calling, spirit calling. And I was like, what the heck is that? And I got up because I needed to start doing this because I kept forgetting all the things that were happening. And I got up and I wrote it down. In the morning, I went and bought the domain and then I forgot about it. And over the course of a year, I kept hearing you're to build a platform, a portal. There's going to be a glass ceiling. Psh, this is how they showed it to me. This, verbatim, a glass ceiling is going to break. People are going to stop in their tracks. They're not going to know who they are, what they've believed in their entire life. They're not going to understand what the world is that they were brought into is made of. They need a safe place to land. They need a safe place to land. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't know what a portal is. I know what a website is. I create those all the time for clients. Like, what is a portal? And a year of hearing this. Finally, at the end of that year, in the middle of the night, I had a vision of these little wings landed on an iPhone screen. I got up in the morning and I sketched them, got my color pencils out, and I knew that I was getting wisdom and I didn't want it to, go away and be forgotten. So at that point I had like journals, they're all behind me. And I put it aside and then somebody said they needed me to check on something. I had to go look at their domain and whatever. And I saw spirit calling and it was like spirit calling, the portal, the wings, like so they were like, yeah. And then I kept hearing, you got to build it. You got to build it. Hey, Pamela, you got to build the portal. You have to build it. You have to build it. And I was like, I don't have time right now. I just merged an 18-year-old business into a new business. I'm in build mode over here already. I don't have time. You got to build it. 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 And I'm like, finally, one day I was like, fine. I'm like annoyed. Like, fine. You send me the people, send me the money, send me all the things, and I'll do it. I'll be your humble servant. I will do it. Out of the blue, this woman who lived in my community that I knew of, but didn't really know her. I knew she did Reiki, but I didn't really know her. Her husband was the coach of my daughter's crew team, right? So I knew him. She came to me and she's like, Pamela, I need a new brand for my business. I need a website. I need all the things. And I was like, okay, well, if she has money, then this will be serious if she really wants to work together. And she did. And so we were working with my other business and I made her all this stuff. At the end of one of our team meetings, she didn't know anything about any of the things. At one of our team meetings, she goes, can you hang on for a minute? I said, yeah. And every one of my team members left. And she goes, Pamela, I received guidance that we're supposed to work on a different project together. And I was like, what? And she goes, it's a portal. And she said portal. And I started crying. She started crying. And yeah, Spirit sent me someone who understood the vision, who understood the things, the journey of the spiritual awakening. I was building my other business. She was helping me build this platform. I have been told many people, like huge amounts of people are going to come. I needed to build it right. I couldn't just go and build it on a Wix platform or make a makeshift. I couldn't. I knew I couldn't. Like everything inside of me knew I couldn't. I leveraged my house and I didn't even tell you I lost everything in the recession. I lost everything in the recession. I didn't have anything to scratch together. Nothing. The only thing I had was the equity in my house. And I believed in this so much that I was willing to risk that. And I said, okay, I'm going to build this. Well, the universe sent me the person that I needed. I went to, involved in different spiritual entrepreneur groups, and I was on this networking group. And there was this little box on the Zoom call that was vibrating in the top right hand corner. And I was like, I don't know what's going on with that dude, Tim, but I need to meet him. I don't know what it is. So I said, Tim, can we exchange information? I'd like to learn about what you do. So we get on a call and I'm like, what do you do? You know, short and sweet. He's like, I build communities online. I was like, of course you do. So I had the money, I had the people, and we built it. And it took a while. And I launched it in January of 2024. And it was a big deal and it was amazing. And it was a hard soul project for me because I was putting my face out to the world as this spiritual teacher, but like a guide and then a platform, not even channeler yet. Like I was really like kind of scared about that because I have a business presence. I'm respected in my community and I'm a leader in marketing. And it was hard for me. It was hard for me. It's soul work. It's soul work. When it's hard, it's soul work. And I was starting to share inside of my tiny little community some of the things that were happening. I was starting to share the visions. I channeled live a couple times. It was so scary. And in October of last year, not even a year ago, like October of last year, I was working out and the guides were like, you need to share your visions. You need to share your visions. You need to share your visions. And I'm literally like working out and I'm like, oh, you just shut up because I'm gonna get my workout done. And finally I was done. I was like, fine. I had built a YouTube channel. I had built a TikTok channel. I was starting to like talk and do things, but I hadn't done anything really big. So I was done my workout. I went upstairs to this room where we kind of, you know, I do my art music and stuff. It's got a lot of windows and a lot of light. I went up there and I'm just sitting down and I'm talking to the guides and I was like, okay, I could cry. And like, you want me to do this now? Like, you really want me to share all this stuff, you know? They're like, it's time. And I'm like, I mean, I'm afraid. And they were like, it's time. I'm like, okay, you want me to do this? Like, I have to push and push and push. And this bird came and flew into the window in front of me. And I was like, okay, I hear you. I'm going to do it. It's okay. So I shared one of the visions from 2020 and it went crazy. Like it spread. And then I started sharing some of the things that I saw in 2020. I'm not the kind of person who's going to do it for sensational reasons. I'm not going to do it because it's just not who I am. And I was feeling like I had to do it to get it started. But there was a reason that I had to because this guy saw it and sent it to his friend and said, you need to see this person. He reached out to me. He said, Pamela, my friend sent me your video. People need to see your work. I want to have you on my podcast. And I said, okay. Like when that stuff comes, you have to say, okay. I went on it. I didn't even know if he was 100% aligned, but I knew that there was a reason that he had come. So I went on it. After I went on that, like everything exploded. Well, everything shifted. All these new people found me. They came to the community. New people came to my YouTube channel. New things started and like it started to grow. It started to expand to a wider audience. Through that, this new community member came named Penny, and she just sent me an inbox message. Meanwhile, I'm getting messages every which way. You know, it's like, and I'm running a full time job with 4 employees, not to mention, you know, and I get this message and she's like, have you ever thought about going on Next Level Soul? And I mean, I was literally responding to one email, going to the next. And I was like, yeah, I always would love to do that one day. Then to the next one. 3 days later, I got a message in my inbox. We would love to invite you to Next Level Soul. Now, I had always seen me and Alex talking, but I didn't think it would happen that fast, Kyle. Like, I swear. And they wanted me there in December. I knew there was a reason, the timing, because I knew 2025 was going to be a very important year. So the timing is always perfect. And if I don't do the things, the window closes. There's a timeline and I have to stay on the timeline. So I had to go on Next Level Soul. I had to buy the ticket, fly there, get the hotel. All that costs money. It takes time out of my other job. It's me putting myself out there as a channeler to the entire freaking world, a million people just on YouTube. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, my boyfriend's like, baby, you're gonna do it. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? What about the people in the chamber? What about my kids? What about, and it's like, you gotta love your haters. You gotta do this. He goes, baby, there's so many people in the entire world. There's room for all of it. And there is room for all of it. But it's me pushing through out of fear into love, out of fear into love. And I went down there and I was talking to Alex, and he goes, one of his questions is, when did you come out of the spiritual closet? And I mean, we both started laughing because I'm like, I don't know that I have, Alex. And he's like, I got news for you. This is it. And so through that experience, my platform shifted. All these people came. I had an alcoholic, abusive father. I was an artist and a musician. I lost all of my life in the recession. I left my marriage. I this, I that. I found Abraham. I was like, everyone wants someone to talk to. They want someone to share all this stuff with. It's what my community is about. You can come. You can share the knocks in the night. You can share the visions. You can share your thoughts. You're not going to be judged. You're not going to be labeled. You're not going to be all the things. You're going to be embraced. You're going to be supported. Someone's going to send you a private message and say, hey, that happened to me. Let's meet in the meeting room and talk. And that's what I've been experiencing. And from there, it like all these invitations came to me. Sean Kelly Digital Social Hour, not a conscious podcast at all. What did it do, Pamela? It spread the light further. It shed my ego further. It was hard as to do that. It was so hard to do that. There's still viral things going around, and I just have to turn away from it and know I don't give a anymore, because the vision and the work is so much more important than that. Like, it's flipped it upside down. And I got a lot of followers and everything and new people. And then I went on Wisdom from the North and Yannicka. It just all shifted. Like, everything has just shifted, and it's crazy. It's amazing. That's more of the story, Kyle.
Like I said, I just want to keep listening. You have an amazing. I just feel like I'm being serenaded. I'm just really enjoying your story. So
Thank you.
keep flowing.
Yeah, that's what people say too. It's one of the messages.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that meant. There's a transmission that comes from my voice that I didn't understand until recently. There's something that comes from my voice. There's an energy transmission. It's cool. It's crazy, but it's cool. And what you don't know is that I'm a singer. I didn't find my voice till I was 37. And when I was in the beginning of my spiritual awakening journey, I knew, I always knew I sung opera. I always knew I had this incredible capacity to hold notes, to like, my vocal strength is pretty awesome. And I didn't start singing until I was 37, and I got myself a guitar. I was trained classically in piano my whole life. So I got myself a guitar at 40, and I started, like, putting myself out there. And then I found local musicians, and then I went to open mic nights, and then people were doing things and they needed people. And before I knew it, I was in this 26-piece David Bowie tribute band, and I was singing and I was expressing myself, and I was dressing up in costumes, and I was pushing myself to go out on a stage with sound equipment and lights and broadcasting and 1,000 people. And it was hard, but I always knew, because I was in the middle of my awakening journey, like big time stuff when I was doing that. I knew it was for a reason. I knew it wasn't just to do that. I knew it was for a reason. And now I know it's for this. It's for here and now. It's for here and now. Because I just got invited to do Transcendence Retreat in San Diego, September 27th and 28th with Suzanne Ross. And a lot of people are going to be there. Ann Tucker. And I don't have everyone's names memorized, but there are a lot of people I don't know yet. And it's because I'm supposed to be out there speaking. eventually singing. Actually singing these transmissions too is a part of it. It's part of the healing. It's all so cool. And I can't wait to see what else comes out of that. And it's also for channeling the Great Council of Light, because they are strong, they're powerful. And you know, it's continual. Like, people think there's a finish line or something,
Mm.
right? Have you heard that? Like,
Yeah.
we want to put a finish line
Right.
because that's how we're conditioned to achieve, to move to the next thing. Did it. But it's all one thing being brought forward and new things being revealed when it's the right time.
I would love to hear what are some of the things that the Council of Light have brought through recently that are like of interest.
Yeah. So this past year in January, I channel a predictions video every year. So 2024, they talked about an assassination attempt.
Really?
Yes, they talked about people in the music industry falling far from their positions and entertainment, politics. So this year, they talked about simultaneous attacks happening from within our United States of America,
Mm.
happening all at once, very quickly, and being televised for all to see. They talk about them. It's as if there is now, with any kind of predictions, there are simultaneous timelines happening all the time, and everybody's individual and collective decisions affect all of them. So, but they said there's a high probability for these things. Um, they talk about, I've seen so many different things. So when I posted that in January, there's fear around that. Of course, it's a big deal. But I was afraid last year to put it out, and then the assassination attempt happened. And I was like, I have to stand true to what I'm receiving. Like, I have to put it out, whether it happens or not. I have to put it out, and like, it's my job. Part of what I'm supposed to do with the council is this.
Mm.
I'm going to be doing these updates constantly when things really start to escalate. Now, I don't know when that is, Kyle. Like, that can be whenever it is.
Yeah.
And I talk about, we're in the 2025 right now, the halfway mark of the 2030 agenda. And there's a lot of things that have to sort of happen this year in order for the systems that they've created to break down, for the new ones to be put into place. And I only say that because the council has talked about those larger systems for the future. But the main message that they say is that we have to work on our individual frequencies.
Mm.
Now, you can hear people like, Christian prophets, religious prophets talk about staying with Christ, praying, believing in Christ's message and all those things. And it's that vibration. That's what they're saying to do. They're saying to embody Christ, to understand the messages of Christ and what's in the Bible and all the things, and to put our faith in God and all the things. And that's basically what the council's saying, but they're not using religious terms. They're saying, watch your frequency, understand what it is you're consuming. What are you eating? What are you spending your time doing? Who are you spending your time with? Are you sitting there scrolling on social media, just allowing all of that noise to permeate your thoughts, to permeate your frequency, to permeate you, to
Mm.
set the cadence for your day, for everything that you do? So if you are able to work on your individual frequency, you are able to heighten your frequency when the lower vibrational experiences happen. You'll be able to witness them. You'll be able to not be swept up in them,
Mm.
but rise above them. It's the only way to sort of explain it.
That makes sense.
And I can, January, they talked about preparing yourself for those sorts of things. And in February, they talked about, in our community, I channel a message every month for the community. I have to actually do it tomorrow for July. But they talked about, it's time to share what you know. You who know and understand, it's time to share, no longer staying inside, closed and comfortable, me included. You have to get out there and talk about what you know.
Mm.
Okay. And then I'm trying to remember each month. March was be the lighthouse. So when people start to experience all these things,
Yeah.
you're going to stand there waiting for them, ready to allow them to be be a witness to you and not say, I knew it. I already knew all this. I told you so. No, no, none of that. Being there to help them, being the lighthouse. And then April was, March also was a channel message about the unraveling beginning. And it sure as hell did. It sure did.
Mm.
You can see all these messages on my YouTube, Spirit Calling Pamela. And then June, I can read it for you. I actually have it. June was, you're going to start witnessing things now.
Mm.
You need to create a sacred space inside of your heart and inside of your home,
Mm.
a place where you're going to be able to retreat, take yourself and put yourself in that sacred space. And if you're not able to get in there, you're going to know that you have that space waiting for you as the world starts to go and get chaotic and more chaotic. You know you have a safe space. You have a safe space for yourself and your loved ones, and you have a safe space inside of here. It's all the work that we've been doing. It's here and now, and you get to because you know because we know better. We know it's a giant game. It's a giant. It's a giant play. It's a performance,
Yeah.
and it's becoming hard now inside of the community. And it's really kind of interesting that I launched my first mastermind this month and it sold out. And I launched a second one and I can only handle two and it sold out. And it's because people they feel it right now. They want to be in a meaningful space. They want to have a place where they can connect with higher guidance, where they can connect with each other, where they can really work on their frequencies and really bring forth like what it is. What is it that they're supposed to do? They're not only feeling this pull to create more purposefully, to love more purposefully, to work more purposefully, to heal, you know, to commune. It's like
Mm.
it's all the things they want. They want it so badly. And I would get so impatient with the council, like, where the frick are the people? I'm just like everybody else. I get a temper tantrum. I get freaking annoyed. I see my bank account dwindling and I'm saying, you told me to do all of this. Where are they? Where is it? When, you know? And then a shift happens overnight and everything changes. And suddenly you're set up for another year to support the port. I mean, it's mind blowing amazingness, you know? And that's our human experience.
I love that so much. And congratulations on setting up such a unique platform. I certainly could have used
Yeah.
that many times when I was going through some sort of ascension process and it felt very alone. And I
Yeah.
think just being alone in it probably forced me to shut some things out that if I had a support structure, I would have been open to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I encourage anybody listening to join that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally. I understand what you're saying too.
yeah,
But you have to also understand it was all perfect
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
because you got to go within. And I'm sorry to say this, but you had to suffer.
yeah, yeah,
And I had to suffer. I had to have the temper tantrum. I had to cry like a freaking baby
yeah.
and like lose my shit. Sorry for the cursing. I've been pretty good so far. But within those moments of losing your shit, you surrender.
Yeah.
You surrender. And I mean, man, it's not easy. And, you know, like how we started our conversation, it's not all love and light and rainbows and unicorns. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's freaking hard. It's not supposed to be easy
Mm,
because it's why we came here.
right.
We came here, I mean, my beloved and I, it's the highest frequency relationship I've ever had. Same for him. And we love each other tremendously. And there's even at this point in our life, I mean, of course, at this point in our life, in our 50s, grown children, wanting it to be the best that it can be, we're here now being a mirror to each other, healing each other. So the things that I need to support and to heal with reflected in him and back and forth. And like it never ends, right? But we get to do that. And we clearly said we wanted to, because that's a whole other story about how the universe put us together. And there's so many cool stories, Kyle. Yeah.
Well, I would love to have you back on for sure. Now,
Yeah.
do you think your guides or any energy would want to come through and share a message, or if that's too much, that's okay. I know it's been a long conversation, but it's been amazing. So I don't
I
know.
can try and let them just share something if
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
whether it's guides or whatever just wants to flow through you. I'd be curious to see what comes through.
Okay. Before I do that, I want to share, if it's okay, a little bit of the June message. So they just want everyone to know that during this month that we're in, and I'm going to assume it's the next couple of months, right? That you'll be asked to spread your wings and endure much. There will be many things happening throughout the month that will challenge your sensibilities and continue to explore the ways of this planet that you do not know. We ask you now, dear ones, they say, to create a space within your own dwelling that feels sacred to you, where you can feel at ease and comfortable, where you can rest your mind and sit with your guides in order to create solitude, yes, but also to have the knowing throughout your days that you may and will shelter there in order to escape the chaos that surrounds you. There will be many means of information coming at you. There will be many direct messages sent to you. There will be many changes that happen swiftly and without notice. But you, now moving into the month of June, will have a plan that supports your journey. See what I mean? You have not only this community, that's your community too, and the guidance from the council and your own guides, but you have the knowing that you are prepared within your mind, within your home, that you can feel comfortable, safe, and sheltered. We tell you this now because those of you who have found these platforms and these sacred spaces are here for an expressed reason. You felt a pull to come here. You felt an urgency within your life to make a move towards something more meaningful. And you have been seeking. Now, seek no longer. Find yourself now devouring information, supporting and conversing with others, and knowing you are held, you are guided, and you are above all else loved. I mean, that's how beautiful their messages are. It's amazing. And then they said there'll be trials that are presented, and that to think of that space and to use your discernment that they've been speaking of and they've been teaching of, because great events you'll be able to witness great events without stirring at your core and losing yourself within the presentation. Within the presentation. Do you hear that? That's putting it on the TVs, on the screens, on all of the places. That's that experience that's being presented and created for us. You'll be able to be the witness and know that you are unique to most of the world. You are held and the observer, for you've been supported and cared for. You are in the space of knowing. You are understanding that omnipotent universe and the calculated flow that supports you each day on your journey. It's amazing. This is important. I'll end with this and then I'll let them in. You do not need to spearhead a revolution. Put your phones down. Stop commenting. Stop getting in the nonsense. If I could tell anybody anything, it would be to stop. Stop. You do not need to shout it from the mountains that you have more understanding than others. You do not need to judge or be callous, for you now are being asked to sit in peace, in solitude, and with care for yourselves and others. I know. I know. Okay, let's see. You ready? It's pretty wild. Okay, they come in swiftly. Yes, we are here. We are here. We are very happy to be here. Yes, indeed, we are here. We are very happy to have expressed the messages of solitude and understanding that you are the creator of your experience. Yes, there may be shifts happening. There may be elevation in your frequencies around you of chaos and disorder. But you understand that you are in control of your individual frequency, your individual experience on planet Earth, here and other worlds. So now we beseech you to understand what it is you're doing throughout your day what it is you are consuming, all the ways in which you are conversing with others now. Stand as a tower of strength within your community, within your home, within your families. Yes, now understand that you create what you experience. Set forth a plan now in motion to be more clear in your judgment, your character, your ways. Yes, because it is now among you. It will change swiftly. You will see changes very, very swiftly. Yes, there's a space for y'all to converse, for you to be fed, for you to have understanding. Yes, that is the reason for the portal and the community. Yes, but there are other spaces like this here where you are conversing in a more meaningful way. Continue to express yourself, sharing your light with others. That is expressing and elevating the frequency of the planet as a whole. We are very happy to have been here to share a message with you yesterday and always.
That was great.
That was fast. They were very excited from, I think, the moment that we got on. I felt the energy today in a different way.
That was
It's pretty
beautiful.
cool. Yeah.
I love them. I love
I
that.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
that was so
I
cool.
know. People laugh and say, why do they have that accent? I don't know.
Yeah, they're really super, super cool. That was great. So,
Yeah.
is there any other messages that you want to share before we head out? This was amazing to just meet you and be in your
Yeah. It was amazing to
yeah,
meet you too.
yeah,
Thank you for asking. I would say because I care so much about this certain work that I'm doing,
yeah,
because I never intended to do this one particular thing that I'm doing. And people are having this incredible and profound experiences with it.
yeah.
I was channeling a message just like that one, and boom, this pineal gland activation meditation came out
Mm,
like boom.
mm,
And I didn't even like I hadn't planned to do that. Right after that, an abundance meditation and then a connecting to your spirit guides meditation. But the pineal gland meditation is the mother. It is incredible.
mm.
So not only did I channel it, but when I hired my sound healer who creates a custom frequency soundtrack every month for our community. It's part of the membership. I hired her to create a pineal gland frequency so that I could marry it with the council's words. When I was recording the meditation, they came in, they were infusing energy in it, they were speaking. It is a bad boy.
Mm,
You can feel, and when I was doing it, I was feeling as they were saying, it's like they knew what was going to happen while they were doing it. They call your guides in to elevate the frequency around your head. Like it's so badass. It's so cool.
yeah,
So that's on my homepage, and there's a bundle or a single, whatever you want. But I get this list. Where is it? They start telling me what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. A womb activation was what was next. A
oh,
womb activation, a severed relationships, a healing of a marriage, and self love.
yes.
I get them. I don't have time to do all these things. Well, not this weekend, the weekend before, you got to channel the womb activation. You got to channel the womb activation. You got to do the womb. Got to do it. Got to do it. Got to do it. I'm like, Monday morning, somehow my morning cleared up. Things got canceled. I channeled that bad boy.
Wow.
Monday night, I had a meeting with someone for soul coaching. What is one of the things that you want to work on? I want to work on the energy of the womb.
Wow.
Tuesday morning, I had a conversation with the sound healer that I didn't even know, and she wants to work on the energy of the womb. Thursday morning, I led a call in Perth, Australia, and somebody asked me if I work with spirit babies because they want to work on the energy of the womb.
Yeah.
So that's coming out soon because that's like, it's not just about infertility. It's about trauma. It's
Mm,
about, it's about all of the things.
yeah.
And I channeled it and it's about past lineage trauma, this lineage, this time trauma, and clearing it for future. It's incredible. So I'm just so passionate about it because it's so freaking cool. And then I'm going to be at Transcendence Retreat in September 27th, 28th. You can hang out with me. There's
Yeah.
a dinner cruise and people can come on the cruise. Like it's cool. And they're giving a discount for anybody. It's Spirit Calling. You get
Yeah.
like a $20 discount or something.
I might
But come,
yeah.
you should totally. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak, and then come to the community. If you're feeling like something resonates with you, start letting your spirit move first. Start doing the love and not fear. Try it out. And then if not for anything, just follow us on Spirit Calling Pamela on YouTube, on TikTok, on Insta.
Yeah, if there's any way that we can support you, please let us know.
Thank you. You're so nice.
Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to. Definitely.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much, Pam.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right.